A new Classic Plus leak has just been posted on the WoW server subreddit, and some of it looks kind of interesting. So I thought what I'd do is read through the whole damn thing on here to see if anyone wants to hear about it. Now, first of all, please do take this with a massive pinch of salt. Obviously, if not 2 pinches, maybe the whole pot of salt. It's just, people are excited, but please do understand that this could be completely fake. But nonetheless, it is interesting. Here we go. World of Warcraft Classic Plus is happening. Blizzard started working on it before Season of Discovery was released. It will be announced at BlizzCon 2026 with a 2027 launch window. The direction of Classic Plus will be a small number of changes and lots of new content. It'll be more grounded and in line with the old school feel of Classic. Season of Discovery was testing grounds for the wild ideas. Classic Plus will be made for players who enjoy the old school MMO feel and design. A major feature is the 2 new races, High Elves for the Alliance and Armani Forest Trolls for the Horde. Both races fit the classic design space. It's been decided that goblins should remain neutral. Both races will have new 1 to 10 leveling zones and major cities, and the Ghostlands will be a new contested zone for the level 10 to 20 bracket. It'll launch similarly to expansions. It will have a price tag. The price will be the same or more than modern expansions. Every 2 years there will be a content update similar to an expansion, and it will launch with new fresh servers. These will be merged back to the original servers, which will also be updated at the same time. When the new content launches, players can decide to play the new fresh servers or play the era realms. This will satisfy both the people who enjoy the fresh start to experience the new content and those who want the horizontal style in era realms. This will make it so every year there will be a modern WoW expansion or Classic Plus mini expansion. The content will feature old abandoned ideas for raids, zones, dungeons, and questlines. The leveling will be updated, but instead of increasing the XP gain or making it easier to level, the devs decided to add a lot more quests and class-specific quests, so players will not run out of quests while leveling, and there'll be less need to spam dungeons. There will be a lot of new class quests. For example, hunters will have quests to hunt down elites and rares around the world. Warriors will have class quests that will reward them with cool-looking weapons, like a one-handed axe that has on-use effect to throw an axe at the enemy from a distance, a two-handed mace with an on-use effect to knock down all enemies in front. Rogues will have Ravenholdt Manor as a quest hub for their class quest that will involve them using their new ability, Disguise, from the alpha version of WoW to transform their appearance and sneak into places. There'll be new zones at launch, Hyjal and Dragonmoor Foothills near Batol. They're both completely different from modern and will be done in the style of classic. Hyjal will be a 55 to 60 zone, and Dragonmoor Foothills will be 30 to 40. Azshara will be updated with new quests. Deadwind Pass is also updated with quests and a faction. New quest hubs will be added to zones like Feralus, Alterac Mountains, Silverpine Forest, Blasted Lands, and more. There'll be new leveling dungeons in Alterac Mountains, Dustwallow Marsh, and Azshara. Some of the old dungeons will have small updates to keep them fresh and interesting. There will be new raids. The focus is to make them more horizontal and to avoid depreciating old content while providing exciting new raids. The old raids will act as a catch-up mechanic. When a new phase drops, the new raid is the main focus, and all the BIS gear is from that raid. Old raids will become available when the next phase launches. Old Phase 1 raids will be launched when Phase 2 drops. There'll be 3 new raids at launch. Karazhan Crypt from Season of Discovery, which will be a pre-raid dungeon similar to Upper Blackrock Spire. Phase 1 is Grim Batol. Phase 2 is a new Naga raid in Azshara, and in later phases we'll see Karazhan from the Burning Crusade. New outdoor dungeons will be added, similar to Jinthur lore. They'll revolve around leveling quest chains. The Blasted Lands unique mining cave will be finished, Stone Talon Peak Cave, Feralus Isle of Dread, and more. Rares from around the world will be updated, and new ones will be added. They will require a 5-player party to encourage grouping. They will have the chance to drop rare items, Anasaka consumables, or trade goods. Each one will have a unique cosmetic drop like a mount, unique looking item, trinket, pet, toy, etc. The chance for those items will be low, but it will make the players try and hunt them down for their unique cosmetic items and consumables. New world bosses have been added around the world. On launch, there will be a new world boss in Hyjal. Spawn windows are tuned to increase participation. They will not be instants like Season of Discovery. Reputation will be developed uniquely. There'll be a new reputation faction on launch, and all of the existing ones will be updated. There'll be a lot more reputation rewards. The reputation will be earned through repeatable quests. There'll be no daily quests. Dungeons will not reward faction reputation. Instead, the focus will be on repeatable quests. Each faction will have 10 to 15 repeatable quests in their specific zone. Those quests will require travelling around the zone and interacting with other players. Some of them will be made in a way that players from each faction will have to fight for a resource in the zone. Others will require players to group up to kill an elite mob in the zone. The main design focus of reputation will be to make the zones more populated, while players run around to do their repeatable quests, clash with the opposite faction or group up with their own, and make the zones more alive and populated. Now, they're adding a new profession profession, jewel crafting. It will be simpler compared to TBC. Craft necklaces, rings, trinkets and offhands. Create gems that can be socketed into necklace and rings. Items, however, will not have sockets, like TBC. Instead, the jewel crafter can socket into necklaces and rings only. This will fit since the two cannot be enchanted like the rest of the gear. Gems will not have stats only like in TBC. They'll be unique and interesting effects similar to enchants. Professions in general will be updated in a major way. There'll be a lot more crafting gear, and the existing gear will be made useful while leveling as a pre-bis. There'll be a lot more unique ideas. The focus is to make all of them on the same level of usefulness as engineering. Leather workers can craft tents that will give them rested XP without the need to return to a rested place. Water bags from leather. When the player is near water, they can be filled to transform into a stack of high-level water. At level 60, they can make water bags with the highest mana regeneration in the game. They can make warhorn trinkets made from rare animal horns, similar to the TBC drums. Each profession will also have an alternative to grenades. Leather workers can make bowlers that can be thrown to knock down targets. Blacksmithing will craft knives that can daze and interrupt spellcasting. Tailoring will have nets that can immobilize and reduce range damage. And alchemy will have concoctions that can sleep targets in a small area for a short period of time. Those items will require skill to land them on the target, similar to grenades. Each profession will have bind on pickup epic items that can be upgraded in each phase, similar to TBC. Leatherworking, epic cloaks, blacksmithing, weapons and shields, alchemy, endless potions and a trinket. Now the problem with consumables and their price will be addressed. There'll be new sources for consumables. Reputation repeatable quests will award potions. Dungeons will award a bag of consumables. PvP will award consumables. You trade battleground badges or do world PvP objectives for bags of consumables again. This will drive down the price and demand for consumables while keeping them the same as they were in the original vanilla. There will be new content around the world, a new jumping puzzle that will have a reward at the end. Places where those puzzles are will be a sanctuary, and there'll be no PvP. At the end of the challenge, there'll be a new type of chest called Arcanite Chest. The items from that chest cannot be traded or sold. They'll be bind on pickup and without a sell price to prevent farming them for gold. They'll include things like mounts, trinkets, toys, tabards, and consumables like resistance potions, flasks, elixirs, and more. Now, there will be some quality of life changes. Collection tab for mounts and pets, guild banks, auction house changes, which sure that'll do nicely. Flight paths will be optimized in a way that it will take less time to fly, but there will be no new flight paths. Adding new flight paths will prevent players from traversing the zones and ultimately lead to less populated zones. Keeping the world alive and populated is the main pillar of Classic. The PvP system will be revamped. It'll have a seasonal model with new honor awards each phase. Rated battlegrounds will be added in later phases. The main PvP items will require honor only. The battleground badges will be used for separate battleground awards that require badges only. Each week there'll be a new PvP event called the Drums of War. During that time, players will be encouraged to raid enemy cities or defend their own cities. The enemy faction leaders will grant a huge amount of honor when killed and a new currency to everyone who participated. Players will also be able to defend their cities. If their faction leader is not killed during the event, they'll be granted honor and a new currency. This will encourage players to raid enemy cities and defend their own cities from invaders. The capital leaders will have a very small chance to drop a legendary weapon. Sylvanas can drop a bow, Kaen a totem, Magni a one-handed hammer and axe, Bolvar a one-handed sword and shield, Thrall a spellcaster hammer and more, which, that sounds insane. Legendary? What do you mean? Do you mean legendary as in lore-wise legendary, or do you mean legendary as in did somebody say Thunder Fury? I don't know. That sounds whack. Sounds kind of interesting. Ashara Crater will be developed as a new open-world PvP zone. Small objectives in the zone will incentivize small skirmishes and battles. The idea is that the core of world PvP is not big battles, but instead small skirmishes involving a few players. There'll be towers and camps that have to be captured, repeatable quests for collecting, escorting and more. There'll be resources like Black Lotus, high-level fishing pools and rich thorium veins. When there is a vast amount of objectives, players will split all around the zone instead of focusing on one big battle. Objectives are on random timers and spread far apart to prevent death balling. It's impossible for a single 40-man raid to control the map. When a player in the zone is killed, their body can be looted for an item that can be used as currency for purchasing PvP items like consumables. Some examples of the objective. A heavy relic spawns in the temple ruins that prevents mounting, forcing teammates to escort them on foot. Players must hold a capture point at corrupted moonwells for 60 seconds to gain a faction-wide buff. Steal dragon eggs from nests atop the highest cliffs and physically run them down the mountain to your base for massive honor gains. The egg drops upon death. A gnomish plane drops a crate on the northern runway every 15 minutes, triggering a King of the Hill fight for rare engineering consumables. 3 players must stand on separate runes simultaneously in the ruins of Eldrath to activate a pylon that zaps nearby enemies with arcane missiles. A neutral Furbolg supply caravan travels the main road. Faction that kills the caravan leader loots a cache of consumables and PvP tokens. Now, the most interesting feature regarding PvP, I think, is the new dueling system. The idea of this feature is to capture the feeling of dueling outside the cities, where people gather together in a small social group, interact with each other and duel. A huge part of dueling outside of cities is the feeling that you're in the world and not in an instance. The player sees the zone around them, listens to the zone music, etc. They'll try and capture that world feel and socializing of dueling in the new system. It'll start with a huge quest line for attunement. There'll be PvP related quests like healing enemy players inside their own cities and more. Once attuned, the player will receive a special ring that will allow them to be part of a secret society of assassins. It'll be a faction with reputation and rewards. The assassins will gather each week in a special place around the world to duel. Some of those places are islands near the coast of Tanaris, or the top of the Colossals in Ferretless, the arena in Dire Maul, Karazhan Tower in Deadwind Pass, and more. Each week there will be different places where the assassins will gather. There'll be different and unique places around the world that will be used as dueling grounds. Each dueling place will feel like its own part of the world. It will not be instanced, and players can gather and interact with each other at that place. There'll be quality of life changes to duels. When a duel starts, everyone around will fade out and disappear for the players in the duel. This will prevent distractions during the duel and intentional griefing from other players. When the duel starts, cooldowns will reset. There'll be a sort of mage table for players to restore health and mana for free. There will be ranked duels that are going to be the best of 3 with 30-second pauses between each duel. Ranking will be only class-based, however. This means that the player is compared only to players of the same class. This will completely avoid the problem of balancing classes around duels. When a warrior is only compared to other warriors, it doesn't matter if he loses most of the duels against a mage. Not sure how I feel about that. Nobody sits around and duels with just their own class and only ever that. People want to duel everyone, but who knows? That can maybe be changed, hopefully. Although I get the idea. Achievements will be added in a new way. They'll be account-wide. This will make them appealing to players who want to progress in a way that allows them to play on a fresh server, and on alts that still have progress on their account. This will reward achievement points and cosmetic-wide rewards like titles, tabards, mounts, and pets. The unique thing in Classic will be that the achievements will be far fewer than they are in Modern, but they will be very hard to complete. Some of them will require months and even leveling a character, only for them. The goal for them is to feel epic in scale and to give players long-term progression. Some crazy examples include level to 60 by only killing boars, kill a Nixia in a 3-man party, achieve max level while being naked. And there's some simpler ones like achieve the highest PvP rank, level a hardcore character, level all classes to 60. Class skills and talent trees will be updated. The changes will be small and far from the scale of Season Discovery. Some of them will be slight adjustments to spells or adding scaling. Some will be larger. The main focus is on Paladin and Shaman tanks. Paladins will have Crusader Strike, which will do holy damage and heal everyone around the Paladin. It'll be designed in a way that will allow a Retribution Paladin to use fast, two-handed weapons. The new Paladin Taunt ability will also affect all friendly players near the Paladin, causing all enemies attacking them to attack the Paladin instead. This will be a more unique AoE taunt. The Paladin will excel in AoE tanking, but it will have problems with mana and single target threat. Now, Enhancement Shaman will include tanking talents and skills, and for damage. It will focus on two-handed weapons. Shaman's alternative to Blessing of Salvation will be Rockbiter Totem, which will imbue the weapons of all party members, allowing melee attacks to cause additional threat, instead of decreasing the threat of everyone. Shamans can increase the threat of all tanks comparable to Salvation, while keeping the totem mechanic and the classic feel of the spell. They will get a new enhancement spell called Elemental Strike. It will have a different effect based on the weapon enchant. For Wind Fury, it will restore mana. Frostbrand will freeze the target in place. For Rockbiter, it'll taunt the target. Hunters will get pet scaling and unique pet skills from the alpha version of WoW, which weren't finished, but they are still in the database. Each pet family has 3 spells. Explosive Shot, similar to Season of Discovery, will be added as a baseline skill. Silencing Shot will be added at 31 in Marksmanship. Aspect of the Wolf will give strength and agility to your pet. An aspect of the Snake will reduce harmful damage over time effects. Distracting Shot will cause the next attack of the target to miss, making it useful in PvP. Tranquilizing Shot will dispel magic effects. They get an interesting new mechanic. They can enchant their arrows and convert them into fire, poison, or cold arrows, similar to Rogue's poison crafting. Rogues will get small updates. Garrote can silence, improve sap as baseline. Premeditation gives 5 combo points. Fist weapon specialization can silence the target. Vigor is now a finishing move that will replenish energy based on combo points spent. 5 combo points gives 100 energy with a 30-second cooldown. Poisons are changed. Deadly poison can stack up to 10 times, and there's a new ability called Venomous Strike, which generates 1 combo point with damage based on attack attack power, so it can be used with fast weapons, and a secondary effect that increases the chance to apply the poison on your weapons, allowing for builds focused around poisons. They'll also gain the disguise ability from the alpha version of WoW. Mages will have their arcane specialization revamped with completely new abilities never seen before. Arcane will be focused around utility, but it will be a viable PvE spec. Fire will have some of the PvP talents from TBC, and Frost will have minor tweaks. Ritual of Refreshment will be added. Druids will gain a normal resurrection spell. There will be adjustments to healing over time spells. Moonkin Form will gain a mana regeneration aura instead of their spell crit aura, and Moonkin will also gain Cyclone with 1 minute cooldown to make it more interesting for PvP. Mangle will be a new talent in Feral. Bears will gain Lacerate, and for cats, Tiger's Fury will give attack speed based on combo points spent similar to Slice and Dice. Anyway, class changes still being tested and developed. That currently is the entire long list, and if you manage to listen this whole way through, then fair dues. I'm surprised I've managed to speak the whole way through because my throat is absolutely killing me. And I know in the next few days I will have a terrible flu or cold or whatever, but for now it's just a sore throat. Anyway, what do you think about these? Do you think any of them are legit? Even if they are legit, what do you think about them? You know, could there be good ideas? Some of them a bit meh. Some things, like I'm glad there's no transmog. That would have really got on my tits. I'm not into transmog. I want to see the gear people have. Dueling system sounds interesting. Not that keen on the fact that ranking is only going to be on a class by class basis. I think that they should have like wild ranked, where there is a little warning that says this is unfair. Any class versus any class, and understand some classes may dominate this, but that adds a challenge. It's like, can you be this not so good class that can actually compete in this? That's the challenge. That could be fun. I know a lot of people that will enjoy that will enjoy trying as a class that may not be competitive. But anyway, that's that. 2027 is a long time away, so who knows, man, who knows. But for now, there doesn't seem like there's much Classic Plus that's actually developing. Project Epoch is out there doing its thing, but who knows how the development's going to go into the late game or into like end game stuff. So for now, all we've got are these little leaks and stuff. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think and have a lovely day. See you around.